Launching on February 1st, we have Rogue Angels Legacy of the Burning Suns, and this plays 1 to 4 aspiring heroes and takes about 1 to 2 hours to play. And this is a cooperative sci-fi adventure where players are attempting to save the galaxy. The decisions that players make are going to determine what opportunities open or close up to them as the campaign progresses, and players will also be playing as asymmetrical characters with their own character arcs to explore. The game offers an adjustable difficulty and multiple paths to victory, and the way that it's played is players will be setting up the board based on the mission that they're attempting, and then you're going to be adding the characters, enemies, and points of interest that are associated with that mission. Each player will also have their own character sheet specific to the character that they're playing as that will outline the name of the character, as well as their starting special abilities and some spaces to upgrade special abilities as the game progresses. There's also going to be a focus track that players can spend in order to re-roll dice, and a shield track that can help defend against damage. And then these icons on the side represent permanent damage that's inflicted if you fail a mission. Players will also be building up their own personality track and 4 different characteristics that players will develop throughout the game, and that will open up different opportunities to that player. And my favorite part of this player board and my favorite part of this game, and the reason that this one is going to be my pick of the week, is this really cool action track at the bottom of the player board. And the way that this works is that players will be playing cards in order to perform their actions. Each card has a number on it, and that represents where it goes in your action track, and you can actually play cards with the same number and they'll just go into the same spot on your action track. But what that represents is how long you have to wait until you get that card back into your hand so that you can play it again in the future. And the way that this works is that on your turn you can spend one of your actions to rest, and that will move each of these cards over 1 space, and that moves it closer to getting back into your hand. At the end of each player's turn, they also get to rest for free, so there will always be at least 1 rest on each of your turns. I really like this mechanism because it's a really elegant way to keep track of which cards are in your hand and which ones have already been played, and it's just a really fun way for players to try and balance which cards that they play at which time and try to get certain cards back into their hand so that they can use that at opportune moments. I think it just creates a lot of fun decisions and trade-offs that players are going to have to deal with as the game goes on. And that's not the only way it gets used, but I'll come back to that in a moment. And on a player's turn, they can perform up to 2 actions. They can either play 2 cards, or they can rest to move all their cards over 1 step, or they can choose to concentrate, which would charge their focus, which then can later be used to re-roll dice. And as I said, you'll always get a bonus rest action at the end of your turn, so your cards will always move over 1 space. But the real meat of the game comes in playing the different cards, because each card is going to have an associated action with it, and you can use those to move around the board, interact with different points of interest or items, or attack different enemies that are in your sight. You'll perform the action of that card immediately and then put the card into your action track where it will cool down until it will later come back into your hand. But another reason that this one is my pick of the week is because I really like the way that the enemies work in this game. They're going to react a little bit different to the players depending on the situation that they're in or the environment that they're in. And this is accomplished through these automated attack sheets, and there's a ton of these that are included in the game, which is going to offer a lot of variability. And these are also double-sided. And the way that this works is that you're going to match a row up with the appropriate enemy, and the sheet's going to outline the procedure that the enemy is going to follow when it is attacking. This sort of idea will definitely add a little bit of character to your enemies and make them feel a little bit more realistic rather than being really predictable and robotic. And the really neat thing about taking damage in this game is that you don't really have health. Instead, you're going to get a damage card that's put into your action track, and then whatever negative effect that card has associated with it is going to be affecting you the whole time that it's in your action track. So you're going to want to rest to try and get those out of your action track as quickly as possible, and then at that point they get discarded and you don't have to worry about them anymore. I'm pretty good at spotting good design when I see it, and this one is really impressing me. Everything looks really elegant in the way that the cards flow, and the way that the damage is dealt, and the way that action track kind of ties everything together. This one also does have a few comments in here in the rating section with some really high praise, and there's also a few videos that I watched as well, and everyone there also seemed to really enjoy the game. So if you're interested in these types of games, I definitely recommend checking this one out and clicking that notify button. I have links in the description below, and I'm really excited to see what other people have to say as this one gets rolled out. And this one is offering a tabletop simulator version of the game that you can go ahead and try for yourself right now. And if you're looking for that link, I definitely recommend checking out our Discord, because we do provide links to the tabletop simulator games if they are available. And to find it, all you have to do is go to the channel for whatever game you're looking for and check out the pinned comment, and we have links to the BGG page, their website, Tabletop Simulator, or Tabletopia if that's available. And this is the best Discord in the world, so you should just probably join it anyway.